Yeah, we just do this. Okay.
Hello all my friends in the world. I'm Johnshon, Sher. I'm the Vice President of ITRI, and really appreciate about the interview. I hope I can really contribute something here.
Okay, definitely. So first of all, could you please introduce briefly yourself?
In fact, I'm Vice President of ITRI. I'm in charge of the whole commercialization and evangelization process in ITRI. I've been working for industry for around 25 years with HTC, Nokia, IBM,
wow, this really big
lots of different companies, yes.
Okay.
And finally I decided, this should be the time to devote it to the country. So I changed my career path now, working toward the industrialization for Taiwan.
So, what make you change if you might know?
I think it's quite simple. I think ITRI is a kind of leading organization in terms of the commercialization, also from research perspective. I think normally the people define their own milestone or career paths differently. But I think if you really want to grow yourself to the next era of the frontier, from technology or from the changing of the world, maybe ITRI is the best place I can learn from totally different discipline and from different areas.
That's really interesting statement actually. Why you think ITRI is better than you already work in really big company? TSMC, it's really big. Also Nokia, why you change your mind? What's the difference?
I think people are not only making money itself. I think they, in fact, I think I make my own promise, saying that actually before 50 years old, actually I got a lot, from the country and from the society itself. Lots of people helping me, and lots of people really accomplished my success in this environment. But after 50, I think my goal is a bit different. I think this is a time I should devote it myself to make the world even a better place to live. So this is my wishes. Yes.
May you share your goal?
My goal, in fact, it's very simple, because you can see the whole world is toward to lacking of food, lacking of water, and facing this kind of environmental, green energy problems and so on. So now is the time people should think of how we can expedite those technology beyond the border, beyond the countries, and to ensure those technology can really push forward to the human health, to the environment we are living, and so on. So I strongly believe if all the people have the same passion and same will to go together, this will happen very soon.
To make the world better.
Yes, to make the better world for us to live.
So how ITRI can support that? It's basically a research institute, isn't it?
In fact, while ITRI is a research institute, but ITRI also contribute most of what we call applied science. Applied science, from the difference is very different with the fundamental research. So they are not saying that we are building a space shuttle for 10 people to carry forward to the space. Rather than to building a technology we can really have the welfare for most of the mankind. So this is the difference between applied science and fundamental research. So so if you talk about ITRI, I think if we can do the much better job in terms of the commercialization, industrialization, I think most of the people will be beneficial there.
So what kind of changes you already made in ITRI? Something different, innovative ideas. Can you share with us?
Something different is, 4 to 5 years ago when I joined ITRI, all the guys treat me like jungle boys.
Why?
Because I'm living in a different world. They treat me like an alien, really. Living in a different universe.
You lost their trust.
I'm a businessman, but they are scientists. So it's very different.
It's very interesting.
But I keep on coaching them because the TSMC which is a company born from ITRI. Morris Chang is a CEO of TSMC, right? So if you really take a look about Morris, he's a technician before, but now no people actually will say Morris is a technician or engineer, rather than he's a businessman, right?
Yeah.
So I keep on coaching and communicating with our PhDs, let them understand, from the time goes on, people will have a different pyramid to be learned and to be overcome. Maybe sometimes he own his own business and he need to learn, from other aspects and different dimensions. So this is a way I think people who grow, in this complicated world to be successful. So I think this is now, if you say what is the most achievement is, now every PhD, when they raise a project, they will talk about the business plan first rather than the project plan. So I'm
Why
really
do you
glad.
think it's a matter of why? Why do you think it's a matter?
Its matter is because of they know they own the responsibility to generate impact rather than generate just a result.
But they probably doesn't realize. So do you actually do something to change their mind?
Well, the culture change really takes time. So I think it's just launched, actually this kind of entrepreneurship has just started. I think give me another 5 years. I think those PhD will be aiming to be successful in other dimensions rather than only creating the science impact only. So I can't tell too much because now you can see the new generation of those PhDs. They are very different with our generation. So I also hope that with the changes from our generation, we can bring positive impact to our next generation. Let them really think about the contribution is from different it really is from different aspects how they can do. But the build entrepreneurship is really the way they can reach their goal.
Okay, it's a really interesting statement actually. And I'd like to ask, do you think the annual International Scholar Conference in Taiwan now can support that idea? What do you think?
I think the collaboration, I think this is a very, very important activity I perspect. Because because when Taiwan is not like Indonesia, Taiwan is a country. We have less market. We have small population and so on. So every of our new generation or young generation, they should think themselves. The first day they join the society, they should be globalized. And the globalized means partnership and harmonies between the different nations, and we can leveraging different resources, talents, and also the market itself to let them grow acceleration, to grow accelerated under this kind of collaboration. So I highly respect, this kind of activity. Just like in my speech, I talk about the collaboration between us and Israel, between us and also with United States, with Europe, with Finland, with Netherlands, and so on.
And with Indonesia?
No, even in China, with China, I think we are really. ITRI is a very international institute because the technology is not alone. If you say the technology is alone, that means the technology can only promote it inside of your country. But the technology itself is a matter of a platform to generate the next what they call next wave of the goodwill. So we must actually based on a partnership and fairness and to come up with the global collaboration from the first beginning. Really.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. And also, some audience they asking, do you probably have some impression or feedback about this event? Something you'd like to talk about this event?
Well, I think I declare about some of the question. They mentioned about what the smartphone will be, in the next generation. I think this is a very specific question. I can't answer, now because I'm not.
How about the OLED? Organic everything diet, or TOLED, transparent or organic everything diet? Research.
Well, from this perspective, I would rather, to asking the audience if they do have the interest to see if OLED will going to dominate the world, if the transparency of glass will dominate the world, or something else, or the flexible electronics will dominate the world. I think all of them they are true, but they all have their vision behind. If you all of you are really serious about this, you can go to the website actually to see Corning, Microsoft, even Apple, their visionary discussion about the smart world will be. You got to see the technology is just a format or element to build up the what we call the whole smart worlds. And in order to make everything happen, it's not the only components, but rather than also the technology from cloud computing, from the lots of different we call the fourth generation networks and so on. Lots of things will combine to generate the new stuff. Not only from the technology itself. It's just a marketing. It's just a marketing wording. That's all. I think from all that. It's just a feature. So if people only compare with feature have no impact to the human's life. The things.
So what is the impact?
Well, I think the impact is we call it de facto standard. That's all. But still the things. From the first day, people say Microsoft OLED from Samsung will dominate the world. But in reality, you see, people are using other technology to generate the same stuff, right?
Yep.
So I think the people are pursuing for something they received rather than the technology itself. People don't know technology, but we knew technology. But we always treat technology as a marketing terms rather than a technology terms. So
it's really nice thing, really interesting.
I hope the technology itself can generate more what we call the human impact. The impact will become the value people perceived, and they'll become their purchasing behavior, rather than technology itself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Last question. Do you have some message you'd like to share for all the audience all over the world to change their probably to keep their spirit up?
Well, I still saying that now most of the children are born even in Asia, in the new generation. I think the parents are rich and they are encouraging their children. They are really actually give a spoil to their children. I just want to maybe give all the parents a little bit small coaching. The more we're spoiling them, the less actually the entrepreneurship will start, because we all want them to join large company, large enterprises to make their life safe and so on. But once upon that, when the people don't really want to out of their paradigm or risk, you won't see a successful next generation. So I really hope our parents can give strong support to our children, saying that you need to be independent. I can help you to sponsor you, but to make your own business, try to be a pioneer in certain area, to build up your own achievement and so on.
That's really amazing.
That is my sincerely wishes, because I'm a parent also.
Yes, we're really good.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.